I will be accountable to this House wherever the treaty has provided for it. Members of this House, I see this as a unique moment in Europe's journey, above all, a moment of opportunity. We need to be ambitious and results-oriented. I do accept that it's important that in the course of their work, those senior diplomats, as they will be, are able to come to the Parliament. So we need to have a further conversation about that. I remain unconvinced about the idea of hearings. How we develop our relationships with, I would interpret as with NATO in particular, are going to be very important. And I mentioned in my opening remarks that I'd already met with the Secretary-General of NATO to work out how we can have a pragmatic and forward-looking relationship for the future that I think is going to be of great significance. In terms of a single command structure, I remain to be convinced on that. In terms of Afghanistan, I was present when General McChrystal set out his ideas at the meeting with NATO, and you will know what the President of the United States has already said in that context. The critical area of work for us is to bring together on the ground what we do more effectively and to see how best we can support the population-centred approach. It is absolutely vital that we get progress in the Middle East to end up with two states that exist. And the State of Israel has the right to exist securely and safely in the Middle East, as indeed does the Palestinian. I think it's highly regrettable that Iran did not accept the agreement that was proposed by the International Atomic Energy Agency. There are international rules that we have, and if the country wants to be treated as I believe its history, its geography and its people deserve to be treated, then it has to work with us. Across the world on human rights issues, there are different approaches that can be more effective in particular countries. And what I was trying to do was simply say that I want to differentiate the most effective approach for different countries. I describe it like this, that whoever speaks, it should be the same voice. 27 foreign ministers, the European Commission, the President of the Council, the President of the Commission, members of this House, and me. It's one voice, it's Europe. Russia we have to have a strong relationship with. Secondly, we have to have a clear energy strategy that will also allow us to diversify our energy needs in order to be aware that we currently, I think, rely on Russia for 50% of needs, but if you project forward, that will rise potentially to 70%. Mr. Mara, my answer to the first question is very simple. The answer is I don't know. And the reason is that this is not in the, I think, 5 weeks, 2 of which was Christmas, that I've actually dealt with the issues. This has not even crossed over into my thinking. So I'm afraid you've caught me out, well done, on an issue which I don't know about. And in terms of issues like the Iraq War, well, we are where we are. I was a British minister at the time that the Iraq War began. I believed it was the right thing to do based on what I knew at that time. There we are. I'm not ashamed of who I am and what I've been. When I was a young person, I marched because I believed we should abolish nuclear weapons. You can argue against how I did it. You can't argue against what I was seeking to achieve. And part of what we did was make sure we made connections with all of the freedom movements across the East. I never visited Eastern Europe. I felt very passionately we wanted to see a Europe that was free, and here we have it. And one of the reasons I want to do this job is to take the values I have held all my life and use them to support the principles that this House is founded upon.
Onorevole